Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Multiplied by Isaac, back at it again with a brand new series, an educational series for all of the people just wanting to learn Isaac or learn more about the game. And as you can see, this is a completely fresh save file, and I'm going to be teaching you the very basics all the way to getting Dead God in this series. And first of all, when you start the Binding of Isaac, you only have Isaac unlocked, okay? And I recommend playing on hard mode, not because, you know, I want you to suffer or anything, but because hard mode really is not that much harder, and you need to get a little conditioned to playing on hard mode, because that is the only way to unlock new items. You cannot unlock any new items on normal mode, or at least I don't think you can unlock many items on normal mode, so you should be starting on hard. So let's just get right into this. And typically I would recommend a mod for you to be able to learn all the items, but you can't do that. Like, you can't actually unlock any achievements until you beat Mom for the first time on a save file. So you can't have any mods enabled on your very first run of the Binding of Isaac. So first I'm going to explain to you, this is a cursed room. When you go into it, it damages you. And these blue fires, you blow them up, sometimes they have a chance to give you a soul heart, and I will explain what soul hearts are later. Red chests have a chance to give you pills, troll bombs, red spiders, sometimes items, and sometimes they can teleport you to the devil deal, okay? So red chests can be good. Cursed rooms also hit you on the way out. There are multiple types of enemies. This is a champion enemy. A champion enemy will hit you for a full heart of damage if you get hit by it. These fly enemies just chase you around the room and do a half heart of damage if they hit you. So, enemies can be classified into 3 different categories. The categories would be enemies that chase you, enemies that shoot at you, and passive enemies. As far as I know, those are the 3 types of enemies. This is a treasure room. On the first floor, treasure rooms will let you get in for free, and they will either provide you with a passive or an active item. The item that we just got is a passive item that actually allows you to be invincible for a short period of time. However, when you use this active item, you will not be able to shoot at all. So you really only want to use that item if you have something like an orbital, which is something that orbits around you that allows you to do damage to enemies without shooting them. Another troll bomb. The game really likes to mess with you, so you have to be careful and watch all of your surroundings at all times. This right here is a shop. And the things that you can get in a shop, you can get consumables, which include keys, bombs, hearts, and soul hearts. Or items, which this is a 15-cent item. Typically, the better items will cost 15 cents, where the lesser used items will cost 10 cents. This item is Broken Stopwatch. It'll randomly speed up and slow down your game. I do not recommend taking that item. So I'm going to be trying to teach you some strategies for, you know, rooms such as these. Obviously, you can just, you know, learn how to do it just by watching me, but it's really very, very important that you learn the patterns of all these enemies. So you saw those enemies. The enemies with their heads chopped off were just kind of launching tears randomly, and the enemies without the heads chopped off actually chased me. And the ones that chase you are usually a higher priority than the ones that just run around randomly. I guess I did miss one classification of enemies. That was a bad hit. You usually wouldn't get hit in that room. But another classification of enemies are enemies that shoot in patterns. These are enemies that just shoot at you. And I am just not doing too good on this run while trying to explain. It's also, these rooms are kind of difficult actually for a first floor. Plus we didn't get a very good item on the first floor. And that enemy, you see, the one that's head is spinning, that is an enemy that that just shoots in a pattern. It doesn't necessarily shoot at you, it just shoots in a pattern. And I really hope I don't die in this video. That would be very embarrassing when I'm trying to teach you how to play. Like I said, it's pretty hard to explain all of this while playing, but I'm going to do my very best. So these enemies, as you can see, shoot out that green goop like he just did, and if you step on that green goop, it will hurt you. But they also turn into these lesser enemies that can fart and knock you into other enemies. Yes, I know. This game sometimes has some very, wacky humor. And it includes a lot of farting, a lot of pooping. Yeah, it's quite the game. So beware of that. If you're getting into this game, there's going to be some weird things, some weird references, but you just have to get used to it. And the trinket that I have right now actually makes poop blow up, funny enough. So I can just blow this guy up by shooting the poops. And yeah, Larry Jr. is one of the easier bosses. As you can see, he just kind of moves around randomly, kind of poops a little bit. He is one of the easiest bosses in this game. Especially if you can just blow him up with the poop. That definitely helps. But yeah, he moves around completely randomly. He doesn't really chase you. And you just have to kill all of his segments and then he'll die. He is the easiest, in my opinion, basement boss. This item right here is Mom's Pearls. It gives you a range upgrade, a luck upgrade, and a soul heart. It's a very good early game item to have because you will want soul hearts. You see the blue heart in the top left? That is a soul heart, okay? Soul hearts are very, very necessary in this game because there are things called angel deals and devil deals, which you can start getting on the second floor, which I'm about to show you after I destroy these poops. I highly recommend, if you see any poops or fires, destroying them because they can drop you good stuff such as soul hearts, coins, and red hearts. Very, very useful. And sometimes poop can also drop you a very good trinket called petrified poop, which is honestly, okay, that was just my bad. I don't actually recommend using this trinket, so if you want to drop a trinket, at least on, what's it called? On computer, you just hold down the control button, and you saw that explosion took a full health. Typically, explosions take a whole heart, just like a champion would. And you'll learn trinkets as you go. That is one of the worst trinkets, and wow, we got 2 nickels from poops, so it just shows you how much value you can get out of destroying poops. This is Ouija board. It used to only give you spectral tears, but now it actually gives you a tears up as well. Tears up means that you will be shooting your tears at a faster rate, and spectral tears means that, like this, you can shoot through rocks and other environmental objects. Spectral tears are very useful for killing pesky enemies such as those flies, and it can also keep you out of danger. It is very, very nice to have spectral tears because enemies typically cannot shoot you through environmental objects, unlike if you have spectral tears, you can shoot them through the objects. Very useful, especially finding it this early in the game. And by the way, I'm not playing like a seed or anything because you can't actually get any achievements on seeds. We just got really lucky and got spectral tears in the second item room. Very useful. If you didn't see, the pill that I took was amnesia, and it made it so I can no longer see the map. I would not recommend for newer players to use pills because they can be very detrimental to a run. I am still gonna reveal the secret room here. There is a very specific way to find secret rooms, and I can't show you without explaining it with the map. So I will try to explain it on the next floor, how to find secret rooms. I will use the pill because I am pretty good at the game, at least in my opinion. So I can still get out of any situation that a pill puts me in. And in my opinion, so if you couldn't tell, the pills that I took, the first time you take a pill, they will be unrevealed. Like you won't be able to see what pill you're taking. But after that, every time you take a pill, or every time you see that pill, it'll actually be revealed. And you saw that I got a retrovision pill, which makes my vision blurry for a while, but it eventually wears out. So it's not that big of a deal. And I have not taken any red heart damage yet on this floor. I took that soul heart because I blew up that poop, unfortunately at the very start. But let's see if we can get a devil deal here. Because if you don't take damage, red heart damage on a floor, it will open up a door called a devil deal. And devil deals are very fun, very cool. They have a lot of good items. And I will explain more once we get into it. Duke of Flies, once again, is an enemy that isn't too hard. I recommend trying to DPS him down as much as you can until he spits the flies at you. Because the flies will not actually chase you until he kind of does that little sneeze. Yeah, see, that makes them go away from him. But once you kill him, he can no longer spawn flies. So it's very much a priority to take him out before taking out, you know, the passive flies that aren't even chasing you. And we unlocked Monstro's Tooth. See, that's how easy it is sometimes to unlock items. Matchbook just gives you a black heart as well as 3 bombs and a matchstick. Matchstick actually just makes it so bombs will appear more often when you clear rooms. So this is a devil deal. Devil deals are very important in the game, even though they might seem a little, you know, a little bit of too much of a downside at first. They are very, very good. This item right here is a 2-heart devil deal, so this will take away 2 hearts from her health bar, okay? And these are 1-heart devil deals. They will take away 1 heart. And Spirit of the Night gives you Flight and Spectral Tears. We already have Spectral Tears, but Flight is still usually worth 2 hearts, so I will take Spirit of the Night. And if you just saw in the bottom left corner, our Angel Deal chance just went to 0. The minute, or the instant you take a Devil Deal, your Angel Deal chance becomes 0. You can never get an Angel Deal. And I will show you how to get Angel Deals in the next video, after we take this. And this is Backstabber. Backstabber allows you to do double damage and make bleed any enemies that you hit from the back. Thus the name Backstabber. Another very good item to increase your DPS. After the first floor, by the way, I didn't mention this. After the first floor, shops cost a key. They're free on only the first floor, but then after that, you need a key to get into them. If you can see this here, this is the donation machine. You can put coins into here, and later, if you need coins, you can blow it up. But also, you unlock a lot of things by putting money into your donation machine, so I recommend not blowing this up until you unlock everything that you can from putting money into the donation machine. And you will see me gradually do that as the series goes on. We will unlock more and more from that donation machine, but for now, it is best to keep our money. And I guess I have discovered everything on this floor already. Maybe not everything, but most things on this floor. I just wanted to show off Backstabber really quickly. And another important thing to note is that cursed rooms, if you have flight, and only if you have flight, they do not hurt you on the way in. See? You don't take any damage on the way in. Only if you have flight. However, be careful because you will still take damage on the way out. Health up is amazing. And paralysis. So we got a red heart back from that health up pill. And we can use Unicorn Stump to get back out of the cursed room for free because it makes you invincible. Just some nice strategies. Unicorn Stump plus Flight means that you can get in and out of cursed rooms every time for free, without worrying about dying, without worrying about losing your soul hearts. It's very, very useful. And now we will head down to the next floor. When you start the game, there will be a total of 6 floors to get to Mom. Mom is the ultimate goal that you want to have, at least when you're starting out for the game. And if you can make it to Mom, then you're already almost there. You just need to be able to beat Mom. And trust me, in this game, practice really does make perfect. And I don't recommend always going into cursed rooms at the start when you just start playing. But as you can see, a lot of times they do pay off, especially if you can get in for free. And we unlocked Lazarus, and if you don't know, Lazarus is unlocked by getting 4 or more soul hearts at one time in one run. So since we have 4 soul hearts, we unlocked Lazarus, which is another character that I will be showing off very soon. Do you see it? Do you see it in this room? If you know, you know, but if you don't know, you don't know. This right here, this rock with the X on it, this is a tinted rock. Tinted rock can either drop a chest, so it can be a gray chest or a gold chest, or it can also drop soul hearts. Or, if you're lucky, it can drop small rock. I guess it can also drop bombs and keys. Kinda just forgot about that, but the most common drops are a chest, a soul heart, or small rock. And small rock is a little bit rarer, but it's the only item that can drop out of a tinted rock. Those enemies that you saw right there, they just shoot randomly in a cross pattern. The best way to kill those enemies is by angling your shots, and you can do that by moving upwards and shooting in the direction that you want to shoot in. That'll make your shots go in an upward arc like you see them doing right now. If you just shoot normally, they just go like that. If you move up, they move up. It's very useful to learn that skill as early as you possibly can. Buttons can do pretty much anything. They can give you anything from a boss enemy spawning in the room to like a quarter. I don't know. They can give you, I don't even know all the things that a button can give you, but typically it's kind of a risk and reward thing. Much like a lot of this game. A lot of this game is just risk and reward. Like this room, stone chests can drop items or a lot of pickups, but they take a bomb to blow up. So you can only open those stone chests with a bomb or any kind of explosion. And this room is a mob trap room. So what happens when you play this room is if you open the chest in the room, it'll start spawning waves of enemies, and there will be a total of 3 waves of enemies that spawn within this room. Once you defeat all 3 waves, you'll just be able to exit the room, and it will more than likely give you a drop once you finish the room. And it's just a completely random drop, just like you cleared any normal room. There's nothing special about the drops that you get from clearing it. And the game really wants to hit us with a troll bomb. And I didn't explain, this is a sacrifice room. I will not be utilizing this anytime soon. Sacrifice rooms are more of an advanced tech that you'll want to do if you have a character with a lot of red health. Because the more you tap this, the better rewards you can get. It can give you angel items, which can be very useful. It can give you soul hearts. It can give you chests. It can give you coins. Did I already say coins? It can just give you a lot of things. It can teleport you into the devil deal. There's so many things that you can get from sacrifice rooms, but it's a little bit risky to be doing unless you know for sure that you have enough health and you'll be able to survive. That is the only time that it's worth it to play that. I keep taking bad damage on this run, but that's just Isaac for ya. You'll always take bad damage no matter how far into the game you are. It really is just a fact of the game, so don't be too concerned if you take damage. Don't beat yourself up over it. You'll always take damage in this game. And that's part of the beauty of the game. You never know what's gonna happen. These enemies, as you can see, I gotta stop explaining things, but that's what this is all about, right? These enemies, you cannot hit them if their skull is down, but once their skull raises up, they will shoot, and you'll actually be able to shoot them back. Only when the red part is exposed, as you can see. Gold chest takes a key, and by the way, since I have flight, these spikes can't affect me. That is why flight is very good, and also you can go over these gaps once you get flight. I guess I didn't explain flight too well, but gold chests take a key to open, but they can give you lots of drops, they can give you trinkets, or they can give you an item. And you're usually hoping to get an item when you open a gold chest. And now I'm going to explain to you how to find secret rooms. You see this wall right here, how it's completely empty, right? You go over here, this wall, completely empty, okay? A secret room door will always spawn directly in the middle of a wall. So if the middle of the wall is empty, then it's likely that a secret room can spawn there. This room, you can see this wall completely empty, nothing blocking you, okay? If there were to be a rock or even an enemy or even a cobweb that spawns there, you know that the secret room can't be there. However, on this wall, you saw in all 3 of those rooms, you see that room, there's nothing on the wall. This room, there's nothing on the wall. And this room, there is nothing on the wall. That means that there can be a secret room here, and there is a secret room there. That is the way to find normal secret rooms. You see this guy? This is called a keeper. If you blow him up, he has a chance of dropping spiders, coins, the coupon, or a quarter. Sometimes he can turn into a greed, which is a boss enemy that you don't necessarily want to fight early in the early game, but that is a very rare chance of that spawning. But I'm not sure if you saw, but destroying that increased my devil deal chance by, I believe, 2.5%, which doesn't seem that significant, but it can really help. Having that little bit of extra percent chance of having a devil deal could be the difference between getting one and not getting one. As you could just see, though, that is called a needle. They are one of the scariest enemies that were added in Repentance. They just come out of the ground at random times and try to ruin your day. So this is the glowing hourglass, which is a very, very good item. So what it does is when you use it, it turns back time. It literally is like we never entered that room, okay? And we take it back, and it still has 3 charges, but it only works like that when you first pick it up. Otherwise, it'll use one of its 3 charges. It only has 3 charges total, So you'll want to use it wisely. And there's one of the rare drops from a keeper. Head of the Keeper actually makes it so every time you shoot an enemy with your tears, well, first of all, it turns your tears into pennies, but every time you shoot an enemy with a tear, it has the chance to drop a penny. So it's very good for getting some early game money. I was assuming the super secret room was there, but it wasn't. So the super secret room, the trick to finding it is that the wall has to be open, and the super secret room can only be adjacent to one room. You see how this is the only room touching this? That's how you know that there's potential for a super secret room to be there, is that literally the only room that can be adjacent to it is the room connected to the super secret room. So you see how there's no room to the right, no room to the left, no room below it. The only room is this room, plus the empty wall. Super secret rooms are typically a little bit harder to find than regular secret rooms. And every single floor there will be a shop that spawns, and there will be an item room that spawns, as well as a boss room. Those are the three items that will be, or the three rooms that will be on every single floor, along with secret rooms, of course. But the rooms that you will always find on a floor are boss, shop, and item rooms. So if you haven't found your item rooms are very important. I recommend looking for your item room before you fight the boss, just so you can get as powerful as you can before fighting it. And this is once again a champion enemy. He will do a full heart of damage to you, and that is a blue champion, so you saw he exploded into pretty much a star pattern of tears. If you get hit by those, you will also take a full heart of damage. Monster's Lung is an item that I sometimes don't take, but a lot of times I do take it. And by the way, that heart that I just picked up is called an Eternal Heart. If you protect that heart until the next floor, it'll give you an extra red heart container, which you will see pretty soon. Monster's Lung is a charge shot, so you have to charge it all the way up before you can shoot a huge burst of tears. It's really good for doing a lot of burst damage right when you get into a room, but it can also get you into tricky situations if there's a lot of enemies chasing you. You have to make sure you can get enough safe distance between you and the enemies, just so that you can use Monster's Lung. This enemy is called Maw. He shoots out fire in random patterns, and he is one of the harder bosses that you'll fight. Typically, I don't get hit by him, but he does have more of a random pattern. It's really hard to predict him. Don't feel too bad if you get hit by that guy. Like, he's tough to avoid, trust me. These items are False PhD and Whore of Babylon. And Whore of Babylon will make it so when you get damage down to a half red heart or less, it'll actually give you a damage and speed upgrade. And I will take that. And by taking three or more Devil Deal items in one run, I have unlocked a Zazel, which Azazel is a very powerful character. I recommend unlocking him as soon as possible. He's really good for teaching you how to safely distance yourself. He has flight, he has a really powerful attack. So that's why I recommend going Devil Deals on your first run, if you have enough health for it. False PhD will turn all of the pills bad, but it will give you damage upgrades when you use a bad pill. So if I use the speed down right now, it obviously gives me a speed down, but it gives me a 0.64 damage upgrade. It can be very useful if you just need a little bit more damage to be able to get through the run. Obviously at the expense of other stats. So it's kind of a give and take item, you know. So this room, it provided me nothing. So I'm going to use Glowing Hourglass so that I don't have to take a hit of damage when going out. Glowing Hourglass is a very good tool to use when you're not really getting value out of the room, or if you take a hit in a room, it provides you a lot of value. And you can see Spectral Tears is very good for blocking enemies like that. We don't have to go in harm's way. And Flight, of course, is very good in situations like this. We can get these chests completely for free. Except for it costs us a key to get into the gold chest, of course. So as you can see, the secret room cannot be on either one of these walls because it's blocked and there was a fire blocking it. So that only, at least at the moment, leaves this spot. So what we're going to do after we take out these guys are not champions, but they do a full heart of damage. So you will want to avoid these guys like the plague, because they will do a full heart of damage to you, unlike most normal enemies. So this wall is empty, and had nothing blocking it when we came in. This wall is empty and had nothing blocking it, and actually, it can't be there, because the cursed room, if you look at the map in the top right, the cursed room is skinny. And skinny rooms are another thing that makes it so secret rooms cannot spawn somewhere. So if you see a skinny room adjacent to where you think a secret room is, it cannot possibly be there. And that is very important to note, because you don't want to be wasting your bombs on places where secret rooms couldn't possibly be, okay? Like, it's not beneficial at all to do that. So make sure you have pinpointed that a secret room actually can be somewhere before you actually, you know, use a bomb. So it could be here because the sacrifice room and that room both don't have anything blocking it. But typically it'll be adjacent to 3 rooms on each side, or a room on 3 sides of it. So let's see if there's any rooms that fit a better criteria before we decide to try to find that secret room. And as you can see, Head of the Keeper is providing us a lot of money. And we got a fun special room here called an arcade. Arcades are very cool in the way that they have machines. These are temperance machines, which they will cost you a half red heart, and they will give you in return 1 coin, which could be a penny, it could be a nickel, it could be a dime. This is a key beggar. You give him keys and he'll give you one of like 4 or 5 types of chests. So he can give you a gold chest, a gray chest, or a red chest, or even a cursed chest. Which, if we find a cursed chest, I don't think you actually start with them unlocked. But if we find one, I will explain what that is. This is a demon judgment. He takes half a red heart, and if you give him enough half red hearts, eventually he'll pay you out with an item from the devil deal pool, or items that are typically in the devil deal pool. Sometimes he can give you like peeler or, you know, items that aren't too good. So I usually prefer to tap this guy first, and we have a, first of all, that activates our Whore of Babylon and gives us a damage upgrade. Second of all, if we get any more red health upgrades, we will be able to hopefully play that guy and get a devil deal item. And third of all, we have plenty of money, so we don't need to play the temperance machines. And there it is. This is an HP and slight, very slight damage upgrade. So that restores our health to full. Any HP upgrade will give you not only an extra red heart container, but it'll also heal 1 red heart container. So as you could see, we went from having an empty heart container to 2 full heart containers. Very useful in situations like these, when you just need a few taps on a demon judgment. And he gave us another trinket, and that trinket will sometimes make us shoot out a poisonous tear, which poison is a pretty good effect in this game. It ticks down enemies, and usually does a pretty high amount of damage to them. But as you can see, they can pay out, demon judgments can pay out with things besides items, which is what happened there. So we will have to tap him a few more times in order to try to get a payment. Hookworm makes your shots do this. Yeah, makes them a little wonky. It's a good item, or it's a good trinket, but it's not the best trinket in the world. Amnesia will actually give us a black heart. That is another effect of false PhD. Some bad pills that don't give you stats down actually will give you a black heart. And the super secret room is likely here because there's no other room adjacent to it, and this wall is empty. And it has another key beggar plus a temperance machine. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to go into the boss fight, since we've already found the item room, and just see if we can take out Gertie. So Gertie, as you can just see, she put her head into her body, and right when she does that, you know she's about to shoot, so you want to dodge to the side, like that. You want to do that every time she puts her head in. You also want to destroy these nubs early, but I was explaining the attack pattern, so I didn't do it early. And we unlocked Little Chubby, which I don't actually know the criteria for unlocking that. And we get another HP upgrade, which means we will almost certainly be able to play this Demon Judgment to completion. I'm guessing Little Chubby was just for winning that fight. I'm assuming. Or maybe winning like 4 boss fights. I don't know. So we will tap this guy a few more times, see if he can give us a Devil Deal item. And of course get us back down to our Babylon status. And he did give us an item, but it wasn't from the Devil Deal pool. This is Speedball. It gives you speed and shot speed up, and it is part of a transformation, and transformations in this game, health down is not typically worth it, so I will not use that. So transformations in this game happen when you get 3 items from a particular set. So the set that Speedball is a part of is the syringe set. So any syringe you get will contribute to the Spun transformation, and Spun transformation will give you a damage upgrade and I believe a slight speed upgrade. I could be wrong about that. Ladder is useful if you need to go over some small gaps. We don't need it since we have flight, but it allows you to go over 1 block gaps. Like, it would allow you to cross over this gap right here because it's only 1 block. So it's kind of like a pseudo flight, but it's not quite flight. So as you can see, this spot has three sides. 3 sides that are completely unobstructed. You see here, unobstructed, unobstructed, and obviously where we actually got into it was completely unobstructed. So that's how you know that the secret room was more likely to be there than the other spot that we thought it might have been. This item is called Wavy Cap. It's not that fun. I mean, it's kind of fun. It can have some good synergies, but what it does is it makes your screen all wavy, but it gives you a slight, very, very slight tears upgrade. But it wears off. It's a temporary tears upgrade, so it's not really worth the effect. And yeah, I don't really recommend it. So the reason I'm doing this is just to get back down to Babylon status so we can have some extra, you know, damage. And let's just go right on to the next floor. And if you can't tell, I'm moving a little bit slower in this run than usual just because of the educational nature. I'm trying to just teach you everything I can in a short YouTube video. So I hope you can bear with me. Especially the people who already know how to play the game. I really hope you can bear with me here. I'm just going to be playing to the best of my knowledge. So yeah, these guys, they leap up into the air, and then when they splat down, they shoot in a cross pattern, kind of like those clot guys that I showed you before. Those guys are a little annoying because when they go up into the air, I mean, you can see a shadow, but sometimes you don't see the shadow, and they still end up hitting you. But the important thing to remember is to look for the shadow. These guys are very strong. They can hit you from all the way across the room. So you don't want to be in their line of sight. But the best way to avoid them is just to not be lined up directly with them, at least until after they shoot. And it looks like for getting over a certain amount of money in a run, we unlocked Kane. So we've already unlocked 3 characters in this run. I believe it's 3. And so it just shows you can unlock a lot of characters in one run if you just have the right conditions, which we do have the right conditions, thankfully. There we go. Found the item room, and this is Conehead. It'll give you a soul heart, and then it has a chance to block any damage done to you. Just a small chance. I think it's like a 7% chance or so. I'm actually not exactly sure on the chance, but it gives you a soul heart, gives you a chance to block damage, so it's a pretty good item. 4.5 volt is a very interesting item, and I will take it. Essentially what it does, which it doesn't do anything with our current build, but what it does is it allows your active item to charge up only from damaging enemies. So the more damage you do, the more your active item will charge up. And I didn't see this tinted rock. This is a different kind of tinted rock, because as you go down, you see we're in depths now. All of the tinted rocks for each stage are different. So we went from the basement to the caves to the depths, and the depths tinted rocks look like this. You know that it's a tinted rock by the X. X marks the spot, as they say. These purple fires have a chance to shoot you. I will show you just because, and it is a homing shot, so you have to be careful of these. But they also have, okay, I'm gonna glowing hourglass just to reverse that damage. Might as well. But they can only shoot once while you're in the room, and they have a chance to drop a soul heart. This is another useful trick you can do with bombs. You can push them, so you don't have to get too close to what you're trying to blow up, like purple fires. But they have a chance to drop a soul heart, just like blue fires, but they will not always, or not even very often, drop you a soul heart. But if you're really in need of health, then I do highly recommend trying to blow up blue fires, just in dire situations. Or if you see like a bunch, like in that first cursed room, you saw how we had 4 blue fires in that one room. I also recommend it in a situation like that. Do you think the secret room is here? No. And let's see if we can figure out why it's not there. So we check this room. Oh, look at that. This wall is not empty. That's why the secret room's not there. There's a purple fire. It can shoot you, but only once. Blue fires cannot shoot you. If you line yourself up perfectly in between, which I did not, you can actually blow up both with one bomb. And we did get the soul heart drop from the blue fire, which is awesome. So that item is raw liver. And as you can see, there are different item pools for different rooms. And this is a secret room, so it's got a secret room item pool, which includes wavy cap, raw liver, which gives you 2 HPs up, which is awesome. It's one of the best HP upgrades in the game. And you can only find that in the secret room item pool. Unless you're playing greed mode, which we are not playing greed mode. So the different item pools are very important to know because different item pools have very, very powerful items. And once you learn the item pools, you'll know how much value you should put into, you know, each pool and how much you should try. And by the way, you could get tons of money from these guys just by shooting them in the front if you have Head of the Keeper. I'm not gonna make you look at me just, you know, hitting those guys repeatedly. But as you can see, you can only hurt those guys either with some sort of tear effect like poison damage, or by hitting them from behind where their brain is exposed. And as you can see, there's the teleport into the devil room that I was talking about, that you can get from a red chest. And this devil deal is actually not the best. I'm not sure if you just saw, but Conehead blocked 2 hits to that guy. And this is one of the worst devil deals you can get, because it doesn't actually give you any items, especially if they're not willing to pay out. Like, they've gotta be willing to pay out to make this worth anything, but they were not. Health down is not great. Retrovision should give a soul heart, which you can also use soul hearts to pay these guys, as you can see. So I'm just gonna use a few more soul hearts, see if we can get something a little better. A lover's card spawns 2 hearts, which can be used to tap these guys a few more times. And there we go, we got another payout. Ceremonial robes will give you a damage up and 2 black hearts actually. And it is a very, very good item. That is an item that you'll always want to take. And I'll try to explain the reason in a different video why you'll always want to take it, but this would not be a good example of it. I'm only tapping these guys so many times because I'm confident, and there's 2/3 spun. And we got Lil Baggy to appear in the basement, which I'm assuming is by getting 2 items in the spun pool. And by the way, these skulls can also drop cards, they can drop black hearts, or they can spawn an enemy. Okay, so we got 2 card drops there. The Devil and the Chariot. The Chariot makes you temporarily invincible and allows you to do contact damage to enemies. And the Devil allows you to get a slight damage and speed upgrade while in a single room. So a trick that you can do is you can use your Chariot card to actually tap this guy. And we got Dark Bomb. Dark Bomb is another very interesting item, because Dark Bomb actually will allow you to turn your red hearts into soul hearts, which is actually very, very useful. And typically in a devil deal like that, you won't actually be able to play out all 3 of those demon judgments. I just got kind of lucky, I guess, and was actually able to play out all those, so very lucky, very cool. And we got 3 decent items. Adrenaline. What Adrenaline does is the more red hearts you don't have. So you see how I have 5 red heart containers, all that are empty? It gives you damage based on how many of those are empty. And since all of them are empty, it actually gives me a really good damage upgrade. It's like, right now it's giving me like a 4-point-something damage upgrade. Very nice, very cool. And let's just take out these enemies. As you can see, they sling their head at you, which is pretty hard to dodge. And as you can see, the one with the more red / pinkish tinted head actually does a death rattle where it goes in that cross pattern that you're starting to notice that a lot of enemies do that cross pattern when they die. Very important to figure out every single enemy pattern that you can. Especially death rattles. Death rattles are very important to learn, because if you can learn death rattles, you can learn anything in this game. That was the hardest part for me. And the super secret room is likely here because there's no rooms adjacent to it. A lot of times you'll find the super secret room directly attached, well, not directly attached, but catty-cornered to the boss room, as you've seen a few times now. And super secret rooms can be very good because they can have things like 3 black hearts in them, but they can also have a lot of other good stuff, which hopefully I'll be able to show off in the rest of this video. Monstro 2's pattern is a little bit more difficult. Every time he slams down, he does a little bit of a cross pattern. We have a lot of damage to take care of him, though. And I just lost all of my buffs. Not all of them, but I lost my Babylon buff and my part of my adrenaline buff because I picked up that red heart. Mom's Coin Purse, all it does is it drops 4 pills. They can be good pills, they can be bad pills. I'm just going to use them to get some black hearts, some damage. I don't really need any more black hearts, but I will take a little bit more damage. And you know how we got teleported into the devil deal? Well, it's still the same devil deal. That part does not change. So devil deals are kind of locked for the floor. No matter how many times you get teleported into it, it will not change. It'll always be the same devil deal. And now we can go down to the next floor, where we unlocked Samson, actually. Which, if I recall correctly, I think Samson... I don't actually remember how to unlock Samson. Is it just for making it to the floor? Okay, we got another Devil Deal teleport. So what this item does is that it gives you flight and a speed up. And what this item does is it gives you a little familiar. These guys are called familiars that can shoot a basically ray beam. It's called a brimstone beam. That does a lot of damage to enemies. And I will take this just to show you the speed upgrade, even though I already have flight. And we will exit this room. See, the Brimstone Beam is very strong. It's able to take out enemies very well. And we lost a lot of our adrenaline buff since we got rid of a lot of our red hearts, as you can see. So since we have less red heart slots, our adrenaline buff went way down. Which is perfectly fine. We should still have enough DPS to take this run on. And essentially, adrenaline you won't be getting a lot of value out of usually. We don't usually consider that to be a premium item. It's kind of a situational item if you have a lot of red HP. And what that button gave was pretty much a portal to the next floor. So we could completely skip this floor if we wanted to, but we don't. Because this is the Mom floor. And you definitely want to take out Mom on your first run. Well, not your first run. I don't expect anyone to be able to take out Mom on their first try. But you want to take out Mom before you try to go to any other floors, because killing Mom for the first time gives you access to a lot of game mechanics. Lead Pencil actually makes it so every 13 shots you will do a Monster's Lung shot. So I don't think it actually works with Monster's Lung, but maybe it does, so we'll see. I don't know, that kind of looked like a lot of shots. Maybe not. But yeah, it'll do the same effect as Monster's Lung, just every 13 shots, and that's just... Yeah, it looks like every few times we don't shoot as many tears out, so I think it does work with this. But yeah, we're shooting out a lot of shots. Lead Pencil is an item that, you know, you can burst down bosses very quickly with. And once again, we run into these enemies where you can only hit their skull from behind. Monster's Lung is doing very good for us, giving us tons of burst damage. Pretty much allowing us to take out any enemy we want. See, we almost just one-shotted that boss because of Monster's Lung. These enemies, they just shoot at you, they go into the ground, pop up, shoot one shot, and then go back down. That's their pattern. So you want to be careful before going into the Mom fight. Because once you go into the Mom fight, there's no getting out of it unless you have a card to teleport you out of it. There's other ways to teleport out, but it's mostly just if you get a card. And the cards that can teleport you out of there are a Stars card, which teleports you to the item room, a Fool card, which teleports you to the starting room, and a Hermit card, which teleports you to a shop. This is a Sharp Plug. Oh, and a Moon card, which also will teleport you to the secret room. This is Sharp Plug, and it makes it so you can charge up your active item simply by using your red health. And you can't, once again, you can't use that with Glowing Hourglass, so it's a little underwhelming. And I can't really show it off unless we got a different active item, which I don't know if we will. But it is a very, very useful item in certain situations. So now, since we found the shop, we've pretty much found everything of value on this floor. There could be other things like an arcade or a dice room, which we haven't found yet on the floor. But for now, we can just assume that we got all of the value out of it. And we'll see if the super secret room is there or here, because there's no rooms adjacent to them. It was not adjacent, or kind of catty-cornered to the boss room this time. Super secret room cannot be here since there was a poop that spawned here. But it can be here. Will it be here? See, that's what I'm saying with super secret rooms. It's kind of just random whether or not you'll be able to find it sometimes. Because there's so many spots, especially on this floor, that it could be. And there it is, adjacent to no other rooms. And this will actually give in my opinion, a better poison shot. I think it's got a slightly higher chance of poisoning enemies. So I will take that. And let's finally fight Mom. So I'm going to pop the Devil card, give us 1.55 damage up, and we should be able to 3-shot Mom. Mom will stomp down like you just saw, and you have to be very prepared. You have to be able to hear her voice line, because when she kind of grunts, that's when she's about to stomp down. And you can see the shadow of where she's stomping. These hands coming out, and there's nubs coming out, and sometimes she'll have an eyeball come out, which make the hands come out. And there we go. That is beating Mom. That is how you beat Mom, a definitive guide. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. That is the very first step on your Isaac journey. And I really hope and wish you the best of luck for beating Mom on your Isaac journey. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.